Hey everyone, I just want to talk about something that's kind of insightful and personal. So, there is probably 20 boxes of cookbooks, and then there's more back there. All right. And I'm either giving them away or selling them. A lot of these are organized by topics like, Spanish food, Mexican food, Chinese food, European food, Asian food, etc. Right? And about a year ago, I was at the gas station, and I struck up a conversation with this girl down the street from the gas station, just like maybe a 5 minute walk. And she was telling me that she wanted to be a pastry chef, and she's just trying to save up her enough money to go to a community college. And I said, well, what's stopping you from being a pastry chef? I said, have you been cooking? Have you been experimenting? Have you been like trying different things at home? And she goes, no, she hasn't. She wants to go to college for that. And I said, well, I have all these books. You can come by and just pick them up when I'm teaching a class here. So this is my MMA gym, just to let people don't know what's going on. Anyways, I said, hey, you can come down, pick up as many free books as you like. And she kind of like politely declined. And I mean, maybe she didn't know me or whatever. I mean, I stopped by this gas station many times, and she knew that I ran this MMA gym just down the street. And the thing is, the reason why I'm bringing this up is a lot of times we don't give ourselves permission to succeed or permission to pursue what we're passionate about. We're always waiting for permission, right? So for this girl, in her mind, she thought to be a pastry chef, she literally thought she had to go to college. And look at this. Like, she can grab a whole box of it, right? If she wanted to. Like, I probably have close to 800 cookbooks here. And there's probably 200 books on baking alone. And she could have came down, grab a box for herself. And I asked her, like, how often have you baked? How often have you cooked? And she told me not very often. And I said, well, I mean, I didn't want to be mean. And I said, because I'm thinking to myself, well, maybe she just says she wants to do it, but she doesn't. So a lot of us, myself included, we tell ourselves we want to do things, but we don't want to. We are hiding behind excuses. We're waiting for permission. And there's a lot of things in my life that I could be more successful. And I think partly I'm not as successful because there are things that I don't want to do. It's too painful for me. But at the same time, there are a lot of things I do that are very successful because I push through. I don't wait for permission. I taught myself how to do a lot of things. And that's one of the reasons why I got this job that I have now. It's because I literally pushed myself really hard and I taught myself how to do things. And if I didn't know how to do it, I would go to the bookstore and I would just read, or I'll just skim through the books, or I'll just take pictures of the table of content, and then I go on YouTube or whatever and punch in the table of content, like the information I need. I'm going through so many books right now, and this is my personal book collection that I'm books that I'm throwing out. I'm probably throwing out 5 boxes of books right here, right? These boxes, and then, but as I go through them, I put aside books for myself, right? So there are some books that I'm putting aside for myself, right? And these are books that are interesting to me because I like the illustration, I like the photography, I like the subject matter, and you know, I'm throwing them out, and some of the books I'm keeping aside because if I have time, I'll read them. If not, I'll just skim through them really quick. And yeah, so I'm constantly I don't wait for permission. And this is kind of a rambling. What I'm saying is, you do not need to wait for permission to do things. Obviously, if you want to be a doctor or a lawyer or whatever, but a lot of times we think we have to be at a certain place to get the knowledge. We have to wait for someone to come and hold our hand. I get asked all the time to help people. And I would say, okay, I'll help you, but you need to do this for me, like show up at this time. Or sometime I'll do a test and I'll say, well, meet me halfway or buy me a cup of coffee. And people won't do it. People will cancel on me at the last minute. People will cancel on me literally 2-3 hours. And they lose out on opportunities to exchange ideas. They lose out on opportunities to get mentor, to get energy. I'm like a go-getter. I'm an overachiever. And sometimes you need to be around someone like myself. That's something I miss, actually. I used to live in Toronto, and I would meet all these go-getters. I mean, literally, I have friends who would work, then they would freelance or work, and then they would study or work, and they'll moonlight as a photographer or do some programming or whatever. They were constantly hustling, constantly working. That's something that I miss tremendously, is being around super motivated, overachieving, creative people. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys liked the video. I have all these books, and today's not bad. I was a little bit slow in getting things done. I was a bit tired, but I managed to push myself. Sometimes you get a second win, and I managed to go through and grab 5 boxes of books that I'll be donating. And hopefully the next time I shoot the videos, all this here will be gone. Will be either put aside, On a side note, I came to term that it might take me 3 months to move out of here, because I built up all these books in like a year, and I was sold all these books for really cheap, and I made a lot of money out of it. But that's how business works. It's up and down, and you can't have the good with the bad.